Alright, welcome back guys. If it's your first time here, I'm Vision Hero Bonnet here for you guys in our video. Telling you guys some huge news regarding Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. Now, Fear the Walking Dead Sunshine Instant. Don't forget to hit subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon there to miss more Fear the Walking Dead content from me moving forward. Now, let's begin. It was announced last night during Talking Dead that Kim Dickens, Madison Clark will be returning for the second half of Season 7 and will be a series regular on the show. Now, if you for somehow didn't know or haven't been keeping up with Fear or just been living under a rock for some reason, you'll know that the character died back in Season 4 mid-season finale. Now, this is a very interesting news, especially given the fact that it's been taken nearly 4 seasons just to get here with her returning. Honestly, if you want, for me, I honestly never cared for the character. She was never my thing. I never liked her. So for me, I'm just like, yeah, okay, this is cool, whatever. Because for me, I just don't care. She was never a character I was invested in. I never cared about her. She didn't give me anything to latch onto that I'm like, oh my god, this character is amazing. She just was like, I don't know, just there. It was just a character where I just like, don't care. But she will be returning. She will be returning as a series regular. When I first heard the news, I thought maybe it was just a flashback cameo or something like that. But no, she will be returning as a series regular in the show, which is, like I said, very interesting. Like I said, we haven't seen her since Season 4, and now we're in the mid-season of Season 7. So it's been a long time since we've seen this character. And one thing I at least think they should do is dedicate an entire episode to showing what happened to her from end of Season 4 to now. I know that's probably going to be a whole lot to cram into one episode, but even if they take a few episodes and do flashbacks here and there, I definitely think it could be manageable. So I just really hope they do that instead of just having her drop back in here like they kind of did with Daniel, being like, oh, here I am. You know, forget the fact that time has passed by and you haven't seen me in a few seasons. I feel like they need to put that in there just to give some sort of, you know, where the character has been, explaining what happened to her. Because for a lot of people, including myself, I thought she was dead. I mean, I know there's always these things regarding The Walking Dead where they're not really dead unless you've seen the body. We all know how that goes. But especially the way they the way they portrayed her characters going out back in Season 4, it was pretty much, for the most part, majority of fans believed she was dead. And like I said, her coming back is fine. Again, not like she was never my cup of tea character. I'm honestly glad that they brought her back so I don't have to listen to the annoying fans like complain and bitch about how they killed off Madison, blah 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 blah. All this annoying stuff that I've been hearing for the past 3.5 years on here. And it just really is ridiculous. And I also find it funny that you have all these people coming out complaining, oh man, they killed off Madison, now how annoying. Meanwhile, back then you had just about every other comment was, oh my god, I hate Madison, please kill off Madison, oh I hate Madison. And then like 2 minutes later, it's like all these people come out of the woodwork wanting Madison back. I mean, like, really, where were you people? It's just like they wanted to do a complete 180 and complain. I mean, no offense, I know there are people out there genuinely who liked Madison and definitely were upset when she died, or we supposedly was killed off, but I didn't care, and I feel like there's also a few issues here. And this also comes down to not story-wise issues, but behind the scenes. Because I guarantee you, one of the few reasons they brought her back was due to the fact that fans that have been asking and pretty much demanding for it since pretty much she was killed off. So I do believe that is played a large role, and that's an issue for the franchise as a whole, and I'll explain why. Because when you have a character or fan base who complains about or wants a character back so much to the fact that the writers and everybody bring them back, the writers don't have control over that show anymore. When you give into the fan base like that, you're giving more control to the fan base than you actually are to your creative team. You have to be able to tell a creative story without giving into these fans. Now I know people say, oh, if it's bad, the story's not great anyway, but you still gotta make it done in a way where people care. There has to be done in a way that you gotta just be careful in this area, because I mean, who's stopping the next time some random dude walks off the show and people demand them back. Like, what's next? We're gonna have Tobias somehow randomly show up in next season. It just becomes annoying. Like, we had Morales in The Walking Dead, now we have Madison. Again, it's not like this is a huge deal. Morales was a D-level character. Madison, yes, is a big character, but it also just draws into the issue of giving it to fans and giving into what fans want. And yes, it's important to give fans what they want, but at the same time, you can't compromise that with the fact that you're destroying the story at the same time. You gotta do it in a good way. And Madison's supposed death, which I'm gonna call it now, was done to usher in a new story and change the theme of Fear the Walking Dead. Her death represented bringing in hope. Her creating the stadium was finding a civilization, finding hope. That the destruction of the stadium and her death for them was a turning point in the show for a new theme of hope. But now she's back. The hope is gone. So what's next? What are they gonna do now? Where are they taking the story now? And what's the theme gonna be? Because the theme was living up to Madison's legacy. That's what the theme overall was. It was trying to live up and rebuild what Madison had with the stadium. Now Madison's back. There's not a legacy of that character anymore. So what do you have now? Now, I am going to get into spoilers for the mid-season finale for Season 7. I have watched it. I know my reviews haven't been up for this. I've gotten behind on my reviews. I have reviewed all 8 episodes, so will be coming in the future. So just bear with me on that one for a second. But here we got an issue regarding what the new theme will be. And we got in the mid-season finale, Alicia was bit, and she believes she's dying. Now, they could still handle off on this belief of hope if Alicia dies from this bite, even though it's been weeks since she was bit, so that doesn't return to make any sense. But they could keep this belief of hope going by killing off Alicia, which I really hope they don't do. Killing off Alicia probably would be the final straw for the show, because majority of the fan base pretty much like her. I think the love for Alicia outweighs the fans' love for Madison. No offense to Madison fans, but I do believe Alicia is more of a favorite character than Madison. So killing off Alicia is an issue, so in of itself. So you can't really do that. So they're gonna have to change the theme again. And usually, in order to change the theme, you got to kill off a character. So it begs the question of who are they gonna kill off. And the only other big character I could see right now is Strand. And honestly, right now I could definitely see Strand being killed at the end of the season. And that could definitely push this show into having a new theme. Again, I don't want to see Alicia die. I don't think anybody wants to see that happen again. That'll be the show's final straw that kills it at this point. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what goes on, and I'm very excited to see her return and see what's happened to her, and then also see some reactions with her interactions with some of these new characters we got. I mean, you never got to see her interact with Morgan. Her final big reunion with Daniel, because they weren't with each other back in season 4. The last time they were together was in season 3, more than 3 seasons ago. So it'll be a big moment for their reunion too. How will she go along with what Strand's been up to? Her finding out what happened to Nick and Charlie being responsible for it and still being alive. There's a lot here there's a lot of good interactions and good storyline that they could do here. Whether or not it's executed good is a whole nother issue in and of itself. So, definitely an interesting thing. Now, also, we haven't been introduced to Padre yet, this big mystery in Season 7. And there's been a lot of chatter, people saying that, Madison's going to run Padre. At this point, honestly, I believe that's probably going to be the case. Honestly, if that is not the case, it's going to be completely insane. I don't understand why they didn't go that route. But at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen in the story. So it definitely is possible that they could, it could be any way to bring her back. But I definitely think she could be, so I should be the leader of Padre. Now, I'm also curious as to how they're bringing her, when they're going to bring her back. Because they said the second half of Season 7. So are they going to build her up and do a Negan thing where she finally appears in the finale and then, continues on to Season 8? Because they also confirmed Season 8 last night as well. So is she going to be the guest appearance in the finale, or are they building it up? Or is she going to just appear some part in the next season? We'll have to wait and find out. But Overall, I'm very curious to see what they do here. Again, I'm not a huge Madison fan. I've never really cared for the character. Um, and honestly, I'm just curious to see what they could do with the character now, given the state of the show and the storyline that the show has going for it. Especially seeing her maybe now how much of a growth Alicia has, her and Morgan. Again, there's so much potential here with story with the character as long as they execute it correctly and they handle the return of the character good. And just do it in a way that makes sense, realistic, which is questionable here. But you also gotta do it in a way that kind of fits good with the story. But I'm also curious, could this also build in the fact that they're leaving this filming location of Texas and they're moving to Georgia next season? Maybe this kind of has an intertwined reason for that. I mean, maybe they brought her back after the fact. I don't know totally everything regarding her return. But maybe moving to Georgia is going to play a part in her return. Again, I don't know what's going to happen here. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm very, again, curious to see her interactions with our characters. Her and Dwight and Sherry would be an interesting one. All these characters, though, returning to seeing Madison or meeting Madison would be great scenes. How they bring her back, though, is the most important, and when she's going to return. Overall, though, I'm very curious. Again, not my favorite character, but very interested to see what they do here and what they could do with the character with her return. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about Madison returning to Fear the Walking Dead in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts and opinions regarding Madison Clark returning to Fear the Walking Dead in the second half of season 7. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit subscribe button down below, hit that bell icon there to miss some more Fear the Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which is linked in that section of my YouTube channel. As always, been Vision Hero Boy Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.